Hey, this is Dave from the Adobe Character Animator team, and here's a quick look at some of the most interesting, innovative, and inspirational character animator projects we've seen in the past few months. Grounds of Freedom is a Lego stop-motion style piece about friends talking in a coffee shop, and instead of needing to set up physical characters and sets for each shot as you would do in a traditional Lego stop-motion style piece, they created the scenes and puppets in Character Animator and then rigged them for reuse, including cycle layers for walking and MIDI triggers to play through frame-by-frame arm sequences. Then they composited and edited everything together in After Effects and Premiere. I've seen a few people try Character Animator Lego puppets before, but to me this is far and away the best one. I love the depth of field blurring they've got going on, the subtle mannerisms and gestures that help the characters feel alive, and all the little details and scratches and imperfections on the characters. It feels really crisp and colorful and alive. I'm being told there are more episodes on the way, but judging from this first pilot episode, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this format and concept evolve. This is really excellent work. Heads of Curriculum is a learning resource that has been posting free Character Animator puppets for educators to use in the classroom. Currently, they have 8 characters created by Kevin McMahon of Design Dojo, and we've featured him several times before here, and he's also created several of the example puppets you may have seen before, like Bongo the Gorilla. Anyway, this is a great collection of characters from throughout history and literature, and we've seen time and time again in these community spotlights how cartoons immediately make things more engaging, whether that's doing a live Q&A with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or a game show with cartoon William Shakespeare as the host, or whatever you can think of. Free puppet resources are always great, but this is a fantastic idea, and please let me know if any teachers or students out there are using these, because I would love to see what you're doing with them. The brothers over at Digital Puppets in the UK recently did a 5-person live animated roundtable discussion on YouTube. It featured me as well as 2 prolific Twitch animated streamers, Scribbly and Kazler. And it was a really great discussion about using Character Animator to add your animated personas for live streaming. And Scribbly and Kazler really got into their setups and a lot of the technical details and how they deal with, playing a game, trying to be entertaining, controlling a puppet, all these things, multiple things at the same time. So if you're interested in learning how they do things, this is well worth watching. Overall, though, Digital Puppets used vMix to put this all together. We've shown how they, in past episodes, how they use this. It's a streaming application to composite multiple characters together and add things like camera movements and on-screen chat messages and all of that. So even though we were in several different physical locations, this worked really well, and it felt like we were all kind of talking and interacting and dancing with each other at certain parts. So thanks to Digital Puppets for inviting me, and anyone who's interested in this sort of stuff, it's well worth checking out. At first glance, Character Animator and online trading don't seem like they would go well together, but Trade4 has made interactive puppet traders who will talk and motion with you to trade with them. So it gives a little more personality behind just, numbers on a page. Trade4 showed us how Character Animator helped them save time and money because they made these initial character rigs and then they can easily reuse them and customize them in the future. So if they want to update the characters with new lines or actions in the future, it's just a matter of minutes and doing new audio file and compute lip sync instead of having to set up a full new production and green screen and video shoot and all of that stuff. And it's cool to see these Character Animator creations embedded as different elements in a website. And this included making them into GIFs with word bubbles for versions that work on mobile devices. So I've never personally seen Character Animator used this way before, but I thought this was a really interesting use case in a place I wouldn't have normally expected, and I think it works pretty well. David Dodds is a motion graphic artist and instructor at UCLA, and he teaches Character Animator as part of his introductory After Effects and animation classes. So his students have actually used Character Animator in a lot of their introductory projects. And recently, David made this animated music video for the Jackson 5's I Want You Back. And eventually things go horribly wrong and it turns into Michael Jackson's Thriller, and it's pretty graphic, but it's a really nice little piece. And so he presented this at a recent DMALA meetup. This is the Digital Media Artists of Los Angeles. They do regular meetups there locally, and he went through his workflow and showed everyone kind of all the steps and how he did it. And he got a really positive response from the final piece and his session. And through that video, portfolio, it helped a book publisher find his portfolio and work and has led him to sign a deal to write a book. So I just think this is a great example of you put yourself out there and you never know what opportunities might happen. David, has been teaching for a while and doing professional motion graphics, and he jumped into this animation thing and presented it at this local meetup and put it online, and yeah, luckily it's led to some great things. So congratulations, David, and I'm looking forward to the book. Puppet Prototyper is a Kickstarter project that's currently looking for funding and would make it possible to easily create character animator puppets by taking basic building blocks of faces, eyes, noses, mouths, and more, and then being able to easily adjust and customize them to create tons of potential characters, either using their included artwork or by dropping in your own files, and then being able to take whatever you create and export it out as a character animator puppet. So in a lot of ways, this reminds me of like the Mii creator from Nintendo, except streamlined and specifically for exporting a character animator file. It's a more user-friendly way to rapidly make a puppet. So if this sounds like something you're interested in supporting, the link to the Kickstarter page is in our video description below. So yeah, I hope everything works out and good luck. Alan Kent is creating a really promising open source project that reads HTC Vive hand controller position data and turns it into MIDI events that you can wire up to an Adobe Character Animator puppet. So some of the controls include rotation for hand positions, triggers for open closed hands, and the touchpad for some eye and mouth expressions. The project is fully documented on GitHub, so feel free to check it out and lend a helping hand if you can. And I should say, if you've ever written anything in the official Character Animator forums, a question or anything, there's a good chance that Alan Kent was the one who answered your question. He's become a really big part of the community and helping out there, and so we really appreciate all your help, Alan, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this project progresses. And finally this month, Brian Beam used Character Animator not for a character at all, but instead using Character Animator's live capabilities to make an interactive game show board. Brian has actually used Character Animator for a few things in the past, so he's been familiar with it. This included a talking robot when he was working with Rooster Teeth. And he recently helped an Austin, Texas film festival for this annual event they put on called the Fantastic Feud. It's basically a Family Feud style game show focused on film trivia, and it's done in front of a large live audience. And Brian's blog does a fantastic job documenting his whole creative process. It shows you all the details of how he set this up and how you could do something similar if you wanted to. So this is an excellent non-conventional use of Character Animator, and it just shows Character Animator is not just for characters anymore. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in having your work considered for inclusion in a future episode, please use #CharacterAnimator on social media so we can find it. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and have fun.